in Dusseldorf at the European Darts Open, the first Italian player to compete in the main events on the European Tour, in a main event on the European Tour. So congratulations first of all to Daniele Petri, but he's got a bit of a task on his hands here up against a man who is building a bit of a reputation once again on the European stage, and a man who came up with a 9-dart leg in qualifying as well, James Richardson. England against Italy here in Germany. Paul Nicholson alongside me for this one.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting. First of all, I want to congratulate Daniele Petri for getting here, for being that first person from Italy to make the European Tour final stage, and it opens the door for potentially the European Tour maybe going to Italy, where our tongues will be loving the food even more than we do here in Germany.
I mean, there's so many candidates for host cities as well, or host venues, you know, the Sicilian Masters, or I don't know, the Neapolitan Riviera Open, you know, take your pick.
Tantalising.
Tantalising. Would be spectacular, but the word is spreading, and Daniele Petri may be about to spread the word even further as well. But yeah, it's a tough task, this for him. It's a big assignment. James Richardson has made good progress again this year. Reached the quarterfinals at the German Darts Masters over the course of the Easter weekend in Munich.
60.
And also qualified for Vienna last time out as well. Lost to Stephen Bunting in the second round of that one.
He played very, very well there as well. I watched all of his games.
24.
Particularly ruthless, no pun intended, but I've said on a few occasions over the last 12 months that, you know, getting his tour card in January and rediscovering his nasty side on the dartboard, I think it's all attributed to his son Josh, who made the final of the British Teenage Championships last weekend. James wanted me to mention
60.
That's a very big deal. And he lost out in the final to Josh McCarthy, but a great effort to get to the final. But imagine having your son doing things just as good, if not better than you are. That's
60.
Incredible motivation for someone like James Richardson.
Well, do you know what? The Italians have a phrase for that as well. It's called figlio d'arte. I speak a bit of the lingo, and that's exactly what it is. It means when your son
100.
not only emulates what you do, but does it better as well. Paolo Maldini being a good example there.
Yeah, that's not too bad, is it?
Petri.
60.
From Udine in the northeast of Italy.
Must be an Udinese fan, is he?
He must be.
135.
And as you pointed out earlier as well, he had a very good string of results in qualifying, particularly the whitewash of Daniel Jensen, and then beating Mario Cantelli as well.
60.
Oh, sorry, Marco Cantelli. Got Italian on the brain there now. Marco Cantelli, the Finnish player, 6-5. And then Brian de Hoog as well, which was another notable scalp.
60.
Well, Daniel Jensen turned a lot of heads at the World Cup recently, playing alongside Per Larsen, and Daniel's a good player. Got a good future. Marco Cantelli,
140.
a very good campaign.
As you recall, 122.
But Brian de Hoog, to me, that's a really good result because he's got a lot of confidence. We were saying about Dutch players always
54.
getting
And
through
you
these
require
qualifiers.
80.
Well, the Italian came through that. Let's see what he can do with 80. He's going to have tops.
It's not a bad guide, that either.
60.
He tried to use it.
James, you require 68.
Not on this occasion, but if Ruthless is going to take this first leg, he's going to have to hit double 4. Good guide for the way his darts land.
Oh, no score.
Too aggressive, too much
You require
adrenaline.
20.
So the Italian comes back.
A little bit of a let-off here for Petri, but can he make the most of it? Double 5 can be awkward.
15.
Comes inside.
James, you require
And
68.
it was by some distance as well. So 68, take 2 here for Richardson.
Is that miss a double 4 going to cost him?
43.
It is going to cost him.
Daniel, you require 5.
Well, that was a very, very messy first start, and it derailed him from the word go, didn't it?
It did indeed. But the way Daniela's darts lie.
In short in the first leg.
I was just going to say, you'd want it to go low if you were going to miss
Second
it.
leg, James to throw
Even
first.
better to hit it first
Game
dart,
on.
and that'll settle his nerves a bit.
Absolutely. Just what he needed there. Hold of throw.
And even though this
100.
is his first venture into the European Tour, you've got to think that his World Cup experience, playing in that Italian shirt over the last couple of years, has got to stand in a
68.
good stead with how hot it gets up there, the size of the stage. You know, playing with a referee with a microphone, for instance.
Yeah.
You can't buy that kind of experience.
140.
And I just took a walk around earlier as well. The crowd has increased significantly as well. Might not be able to see it, but there are more seats being taken at the back as well. So the crowd has swelled in the last couple of hours here as well. Yeah, you mentioned the World Cup. He competed with
100.
Mikael Falanis in a 5-0 defeat by Austria in the first round of this year's World Cup.
That's a difficult game with
100.
And Rodriguez.
And you require 161.
They know each other so well, and that's a really tricky tie.
Oh,
this is a tricky finish.
It's on.
136.
That's a terrific visit by Richardson, though.
But he didn't need to go for it. We talked about this in the Wes Newton match when he had the 1-3-2, decided to lay up.
83, James, you require 25.
This way, he's not going to have 3 darts at a double. He's only going to get 2. How many is he going to need? He's going to need the third one if he's going to take this out, and he doesn't.
17.
So he could be
Daniel,
punished.
you require 110.
Daniela can hit a treble with the first 2 darts, and he hits it with the first one. He's got a shot at tops to break. Oh, what a shot from the Italian.
In the second leg, Daniel Petri.
Well, James Richardson will have thought when he saw this draw.
Third leg, Daniel to throw first.
You always want to get
Game
someone
on.
who's never played on stage before in the European Tour. But I tell you what, it's backfiring right now.
Well, Richardson there with the 161, needed the ball, went for it. Some people
45.
would argue, okay, if you get it, it gets the crowd on side, the crowd get going, you get a bit of momentum, you just thrive on that. But like you say, it cost him a dart, and again,
100.
it came back to haunt him. I don't for one moment think that he thought that Petri would take that out, but he did. 110 checkout. Eye-catching stuff from the Italian. So is this as well.
140.
It's a very good finish. It's clean. It's 1 treble. And James should have known that by having 3 darts at 1 target, potentially.
140.
The way his darts sit up, he should have left tops, in my opinion. Not going for the bull. Don't get greedy. Give yourself that few seconds to breathe behind
43.
the other player. Go up and hit it. You're right. It's just about personal preference sometimes. And he's got the nickname Ruthless. He obviously goes for everything he looks at, which is fine. Sometimes it does backfire.
55.
Well, I don't think he'll be pressing the panic button just yet, but he's certainly got lots to think about here because Petri is looking fairly settled here so far. Has the break.
81.
Just loses his way there, though, momentarily with a visit of 81 on his throw as well. So maybe Richardson with a chance here to start thinking about launching a campaign for a break of throw.
I haven't seen much of Daniela Petri play, but he strikes me as one of those players that annoyingly hits
40.
a treble at least once a visit, and they're very hard to beat. And then if you're doing that and hitting 110 finishes, that's usually a 15-dart leg, which is pretty useful.
Well, he's straight into the treble one there as
40.
Richardson. He's
Daniel,
just evened things off
52.
to leave himself 66. So 2 darts from there for Richardson.
60. James, you require 66.
But you feel the way that Petri is finishing, he needs to take this. Double 80 once, just outside the wire. And that's just inside
58.
the wire. And once again,
Daniel, you require
he's
92.
left the door wide open here.
If you take a picture of that shot, those 2 darts at double 8 were right in the same spots as the ones he missed before. Absolutely unbelievable.
That's unforgivable first dart, though, from Petri, finding the 1.
37.
And then I think he found the treble.
James, you require 8.
2, did it? It was hard to see because of the shaky foundations of the camera. But double 4 here for Richardson.
Game short in the third leg.
He gets over the line, and I tell you what, he'll be breathing a sigh of relief after that because that could so easily have been 3-0. Instead, it's 2-1.
Fourth leg, James to throw
and
first.
James has
Game on.
got itself back on throw here.
It's not going the way that he wanted to so far. James will have wanted to come out the blocks and say, right, let's get going.
100.
The way he played in qualifying, I mean, he took out Justin Pipe and hit a 9-darter. That's a great way to start your qualification process. And then beating Aaron Monk to get
100.
through. They're 2 really good opponents to get through and give yourself confidence. But that was a while ago. That was back in May. But he does have confidence recently by playing very well in Vienna. But like you said, not hitting the panic button yet. And the further you get into
100.
this match, I feel James Richardson will kick a little bit more, and Daniela Petri will have to find something on top of what he's done so far. As you can see, James Richardson getting better all the time.
190.
Yeah, just showing one or two signs of class just when he needed to here as well.
125.
It's a bit more like it from Daniele, but he's still not down to a finish. Richardson on 90 on his throw, we must stress as well. Double 12, yeah, the first dart was a 6. So
there's a little bit more movement in Daniela's action as opposed to James as well. So you can see there's a little bit of a forward shift.
100.
And that can mean he is sometimes erratic. James, very solid. Solid it is on double 12, and he's back in the match.
Flag Daniel to throw first.
You might as well scrub those 4 legs, because now the next person to get 4 legs will win this match.
oh, well, this could be a shot in the arm.
190.
Oh, he wanted that. He needed that. It's had an effect on James's throw.
42.
I think when you play on the European Tour, you have to get up there to find out what kind of a personality you
59.
are. And this being Daniela's debut, I think maybe I'm going to be bubbly. I want to try and keep my focus. So far,
134.
I'm very impressed with his composure. Hasn't lost his temper.
Undid that 180 with the second visit of 59.
128.
But he found a couple there.
He's backed that up really well. And how he got that third dot in that treble 18 on top of the other one, I will never know.
And you require 134.
He obviously knows more about physics than I do. But this is a good leg. Very impressive. You'll want to lay it up really nice.
He's just straight into the ones again. He's done that on a couple of times. It cost him in the last leg. Cost him dear.
James is thinking here is 171. And it is a 171.
171.
133 would have left him 132, but a 95 would have left him a shot.
2 goes at tops though for Petri.
The
only
shot
needs
to the
1.
5th flag, Daniel Petri.
And his finishing isn't too bad.
6th flag James to throw first.
That was a quality leg of darts from both players at the very end. Great leg from Daniele Petri, and that's the best leg he's had so far.
81.
He's gone down the route of the Peter Wright and colourful shirt angle. Nothing wrong with that. I've seen a lot of football strips
45.
at the moment which are getting a little less plain.
Yeah, a little bit, what's the word I was looking for? Well, loud.
Yeah,
for a start.
loud.
96.
One of the 4-letter words we can utter on the air. Wasn't a fan of the Spanish shirt, I must say, the away shirt.
The away shirt at the Euros with the the yellow and red splatter of paint on the shoulder. Yeah.
Looked like a Saturday morning pavement pizza to me. It wasn't very nice, so I'm glad I'm not sponsored by the people who make it, that's for sure.
60.
I think all in all, Daniele will be happy with how this has gone so far.
140.
Even more so now.
I think he's growing in confidence. If you look at his facial expressions and a little bit of a arc of his arms there when he was coming back from the hockey, as if to say, I'm here for a
95.
reason. I'm not just here to say I was there. I want to get up there and win. And I think he's starting to find his first dart. And his dart needs to be in the bottom of that 60, so he can stack them on top of each other and build some scores. And he's doing that better than James right now.
96. Then you require 136.
Well, chance of a break of throw here for the Italian. I think that has found it. Yes, it has. That hasn't.
96.
There's the pressure on this 73. Oh, yes, there is. It's 88, his nemesis in this match so far. But not now, right in the middle. That puts that to bed. So instead of being on tops and hitting tops for a 4-2 advantage, James Richardson brings it back to 3-3. And this is on a knife edge, this match.
Yeah, you can make a case for either here, no doubt about it.
85.
Interesting follow-through from Daniele. He's sort of piercing his arm at the start of the throw, but then it tails away.
98.
Almost operatically.
Which we'll get an indication of here. Let's just see. Yep. Just a little quirk there. That's straight
80.
into 3-bit.
James is somewhat more orthodox
70.
style. Likes to keep his arm moving. think that's the big thing over the last couple of years. Continuance, as I like to call it.
85.
Your arm comes from the bottom all the way to the top under your eye line, but nothing stops. Whether it's just one movement or a prod, as you've got with James Richardson, nothing stops.
140.
And I think the reason behind that is purely because if you stop, your hand can shake.
Yeah.
If you can't keep that under control, a good tip for you out there is to just keep it going.
85.
Look at Michael van Gerwen, for instance. Nothing stops. He's like perpetual motion in a big green shirt.
$78.
Well, that was an important third dart for Richardson. He's down to a finish of 115, down to a finish first because this is a bogey
60,
number for
change
Petri.
record 115.
So, 65 remaining.
He's going for the Hollywood shot. And he gets it.
Shot in the 7th.
I am positive
James Richardson.
he wasn't going to go that route. If he'd have hit the 25, it would have been, okay, let's go for the bull and go for the tops.
James to throw.
Wow, that's one to remember. James Richardson, take a bow.
Yeah, first real champagne moment of the weekend. That terrific stuff from Richardson. Bit of a dagger to the heart, though, for Petri, who didn't do a lot wrong there. He was in contention. Okay, it was on his throw, but it's a very, very important break and a very timely break as well as we build up to the closing stages of this match.
100.
Very interestingly, when he hit the bullseye, he didn't get greedy. He saw it was a good lie in the bullseye and thought, you know what, I'm not going to go for the treble 15 here
60.
for double 10. I'm going to guarantee this single 15 because the lie was brilliant. And he proved it with a fantastic shot. And a little clap from Daniela Petri in the back, which I thought was
41.
nice respect.
Good touch, yeah.
Sometimes you can attest to this in tennis. You get a passing shot, and it's just too good. And you have to tap your racket just like that.
Absolutely. Just turning the screw here, James Richardson a little bit. Daniele just struggling to keep pace at the moment here.
I think if Daniel is going to get better, you know, and come back to these events, he's got to be involved in matches like this where he gets tested.
Well, I think on this evidence he will, given what we've seen today.
The signs are good for Italian darts.
I'll be surprised if we don't see him again, well, this year, certainly.
I think a certain Joanne Wright, the wife of Peter Wright, will be looking at his hairstyle saying, I could do something with that.
Do something, well, work in progress. But, yeah, Richardson, for the first time in this match, has a two-leg cushion here, and this could just be a little bit of a mountain to climb here for Daniele Petri.
The middle part of this game, James Richardson really has turned the screw, and he needed to, because Daniele Petri was guarding his own throw really well. But that little bit of magic, that 115 finish with two bullseyes, is really...
60.
I think his darts are just landing better now. He's got that aggressiveness that we saw in Vienna. Just keep your ears open as well. Sound travels a little bit quicker when he hits a double. He always throws the dart, and he seems to know before it's even gone in that it's a good shot. You hear that little grunt in James Richardson. You don't get a nickname like Ruthless without being a little bit aggressive.
100.
Well, he's being a bit too ruthless at the moment. He's got a little bit of work to do here, though. There's a bit of a cushion opening up, and can he usurp? Yes, he can.
140.
So he's back in contention on the Petri throw here. Petri slips up, and indeed he has with that first dart at least. Not quite sure where that was going.
41.
I think he was trying to set up a 170. He didn't do so on this occasion, and we know that Sean Griffiths earlier in the afternoon was in the same position, needed to win the last three legs to beat Wes Newton. Got two of them, but failed to win the last leg. What's he going to leave? It's a good lie for another 60.
140.
Thank you, Daniel. You've just proved me right.
Well, this wouldn't be the end of the world for Richardson if he didn't take this leg, because it is on the Petri throw anyway, but he can just put some pressure on here.
100.
And he's certainly done that, but Petri, just a chance to get some more impetus back here. Well, that's mightily unfortunate. He's left himself 15, so...
Oh, boy.
Oh, it's just unravelled here for him.
And that wasn't close either. He needed
61.
the 3 or he needed a 7. He may have gone for an 11,
75.
but now James Richardson has an opportunity to close this match out. And it is double 12.
For the match, and James Richardson
and the match,
finishes it off in fairly accomplished style as well. He took a while to get going there, did the man who pulled off a 9-darter in qualifying, with a nice embrace between the two players at the end of proceedings there. Daniele Petri certainly making a big impression on his European Tour debut. I, for one, fairly confident we will see more of him again, especially if he plays like that in qualifying. But for now, it's the end of the road for the Italian. And for James Richardson, it's a second-round meeting with Michael Smith tomorrow, safely through in the end, winning 6-3.
Italiener hier auf der European Tour. Ein Applaus für ihn. Gutes Match, guter Start vor allem in dieser Partie. James, congratulations. It went all in the right direction after a slow start.
Very slow start, but I mean, you got to take your hat off to Daniel there. I mean, come through the qualifiers in the European qualifiers. I don't know if that's his first one, but I mean, he's from Italy. They don't get much starts there. I mean, you got to take the hat off to the guy, man. He played really well there. He had chances. He could have beat me. So fair play, Daniel. Give Daniel a clap, please.
Also nochmal ein Applaus für Daniele Petri. Er sagt, er hat gut gespielt. Hatte Möglichkeiten, auch James Richardson zu bezwingen. Michael Smith is next. He's waiting for you.
Never played Michael. It should be a good one, hopefully. Fast and furious, so we'll see.
Yeah, it will be fast. I'm sure about that. Thank you very much. James, congratulations. Er steht also damit in der zweiten Runde. Und er